Today's video is about the unconscious mind and the ability to see it. What I mean is understanding the subtle activity that guides the subconscious mind, which then influences the conscious mind by way of resonating with things that share the substantial form of your values, whether it be morally, epistemically, and aesthetically. But before we get into the knowledge of seeing it, let us get enlightened on the basic areas of the mind. The conscious mind is memories, thoughts, feelings, and ideals that support your persona or personality. When cognition is stimulated by internal or external stimulus, consciousness is born and sees the event in your fixed perception that may be distorted or biased, or the opposite, open and knowledgeable. This is also the confinement of the ego. The purpose of the ego is to remember our sense of self whenever cognition is stimulated. The reason being that cognitive functions make an appearance through the senses. We only remember, think, make decisions, learn, or perceive things because we experience things. So we eventually need order. That is what the ego is for. It is our way of making sense of reality. The formality of your perception will always be mediated through the intuition. It is the bridge between every unit of the mind. The ego helps us ride the essence of the intuition, which is the ticket to seeing the unconscious mind. Whenever you experience thought forms that manifest as internal dialogues between archetypal characters exchanging features or attributes, you are in an aspect of your ego. And the dialogue itself is how you are connecting to that particular aspect. This will give insight to your mysterious sensations. And what I mean by that is you will start to make sense out of the senselessness. This is where perspectives are from. It is where you shine your light, your awareness in the shadows to see your unconscious mind. That is the ability. The ability is what is important. To control your spirit requires skill. To sum up the conscious mind, it is the perception, thoughts, and memories of your ego, the substantial form that is the causation of how and why you do things, such as behave, think, believe, or resonate. This part of the mind mediates the unconscious to the conscious. It is invisible and soundless by nature. It is the ego senses, the materials that influence your actions and feelings. The feelings that flow through the subconscious from the unconscious are from shadow aspects and conformal archetypes. We experience the trace every day. It is the modality of this world. If you don't use these archetypes properly, you will smear your sense of self and dignity. You don't identify with them, you just identify them. That is how you break free from the collective, discombobulated mind frame. Self-respect is the most important. It is your sword of discernment, where you control the elements of your mind that deal with moral and psychological consequences. Also, intrusive, creative, and destructive thoughts and feelings. The subconscious mind is where you put things in order, or it is how you drift into chaos. It is how you harmonize and justify your existence. If there is no awareness of your soul, then the mind becomes a graveyard that hunts your consciousness and makes you form a monster out of your intuition. Intuition, in this aspect, is the thing that purifies or blemishes the quality of your unconscious mind. The intuition riding the waves of the subconscious is how we are able to see our souls. Our subconscious is the land of spherical mirrors that we are able to phase through. The unconscious is the home of all experienced phenomena through the eyes of the forms you once embodied, whether it was forced upon you or from free will. This is where all your information of your soul's existence exists. The language of the unconscious is familiarity with experienced objects from all realms, including dreams and imaginations. They appear in forms of novelties, meaning the order would be unusual, highlighting a particular message. If you know yourself, you see that the message can only be analogous to how your nature interacts with the environment. In this context, the environment is your mind's current state or mode, your mindset or mentality. At the core level, the unconscious is an intrinsic, psychological, mathematical machine, and the only way to understand it is to be open to understanding it. Dreams and involuntary imaginations are movies that display meaning that correspond to your journey and experience with thoughts, feelings, and perspectives. The way to seeing the unconscious is subjective by default, meaning it is about spotting the things within your experience. To see the unconscious is to dive deep within your senses. The purpose is to see the origin of particular traits and your time with them. Once you see what is needed to transcend the trait, you have also created an essence within the abyss that would be the symbol or object to look for when chaos arises. The mind sends it through waves or vibes that reflect the frequency you were in when you experienced the revelation. The key is knowing yourself. Whenever you actually do the work within yourself and know yourself and stand in dignity and respect your mind, that's when you have the opportunity to see the unconscious mind. Okay, then from the opportunity, you apply your skill. That's what y'all gotta really understand. Life is not about no magic tricks or whatever. Life is about skill. Like it takes skill to actually be aware. So with that being said, like, comment, subscribe.